Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Unique, also known as the Curvy Med, and today I wanted to talk about something a little bit different, and that is derealization.
Ryan Little.
And there's two types of dissociation. There's derealization and there's depersonalization. But today I want to focus on derealization, and so you may be wondering what that is. So just a little bit of background about me. Ever since high school, I have kind of dealt with this thing called dissociating. It was always very hard before I even knew what the actual term was. It was always very hard to describe what I was going through. And it really feels like life isn't real. You feel like your surroundings, very disconnected from your surroundings. You feel like you're in a dream. Your vision might be fuzzy or black and white. It's just a very awful state to be in. And for me, growing up, this would happen at random times, like very random. And I didn't know what caused it. I didn't know how it got started. I didn't know anything really, but the only thing that would help was sleep. And I would just sleep it off and wake up the next day feeling better. And typically for me, it would last like at least a few hours to maybe a day or so. But recently it has been going on a lot longer, and so I would say at least a month, weeks to a month. And that was something that was very new for me because I had recently gone through at that time something kind of traumatizing, and I think that triggered it and caused me to dissociate for a much longer period than I originally expected. And so now that we've gotten that out of the way about what derealization is, I kind of wanted to talk about my recovery process. So I think that a lot of people struggle with this and don't even know what it really is. It could be due to so many things. And for me, I still have not come up with the reason or the pinpoint cause of what causes me to dissociate. I will say therapy has helped. I've talked with my therapist about it, and there's a few things that can help with derealization and recovery. Number one, what worked for me before I had all of these resources, before I had medications, before I had anything, was sleep. And okay, there's Alexa. Ignore Alexa in the background. But, okay, we'll wait. Okay, there we go. Okay, so back to the video. So basically, sleep was one of the things that helped me. I kind of called it sleeping it off. And I understand that this may not work for everyone. This may not work for all people who deal with this. And so another thing that I pretty much tried unintentionally, it was really because I was struggling with depression and anxiety at one point. And so I was treating that and trying different medications, and my doctor put me on Paxil, and he also put me on Abilify. 25 milligrams of Paxil, I started off at 2 milligrams of Abilify and then went up to 5. And then tried 10 milligrams at one point, but I didn't like the side effects of that one, so I just went back down to 5. And after taking that medication for a few weeks, I started noticing like, hey, I'm not dissociating anymore. I feel normal again. Life feels real. And since then, I haven't dissociated for at least 3 months. It's been like 3 months since my last episode. And I think that that is such a amazing thing, because usually it would happen like once a month or like very sporadically, randomly. I honestly couldn't control when it would happen. But there's one other thing I guess I could say that really helped me in this process is therapy. I understand that not everyone has the privilege and access of going to therapy, but I've been working this out in therapy with my therapist. I brought it up to where I brought my concerns, and we kind of started going through the times as far as recently, even when I dissociated. I remember I was in the kitchen cooking one time and I dissociated, and then I was doing my hair, curling my hair, I dissociated. I was getting ready for work one morning and rushing, and I dissociated. I was hot one time and I dissociated, and it came to the point where it usually is involved when I'm doing something either regarding like heat, something that's like I'm in a really hot space and I'm dealing with a lot of heat, or I'm doing something that pertains to like my self-image, and which is really weird. And I think that that's something that I might want to explore a little bit more in the future. But I realized like usually it's instances where I am so hyper focused, that's when it's triggered and I dissociate. And usually there's like, I can feel it. I can feel when it's happening. I can feel when my body's like transitioning from normal to now derealization. And it's like, oh no. And I've learned in therapy, like the more I focus on it, the more energy and effort I give into stressing about it, the worse it gets and the longer it lasts. And it's an endless cycle. And so I think that that's one thing to keep in mind, is that the more you stress about it and feed into it, the more it's going to stay, the longer it's going to last. And I'm happy to say that it's been 3 months since my last episode, and I'm really happy about that. Life feels so normal. I feel like I don't have to stress and worry about, when I'm going to dissociate next and how it's going to affect me. I remember there were times where I dissociated right before work and I had to drive to work and really wasn't in the condition to drive because I could barely see. For me, it affects my vision as well. It affects my senses. Like, I can't really feel my body. I can't feel pain. I can't feel discomfort. Like, I can't feel anything. And it's very hard to see, very fuzzy. Everything just feels like a dream. And I'm just really grateful to be able to have the resources that I have that have really been able to help me figure this out. I would say one last thing that would really help is joining a support group. I remember at a point when I was dissociating for at least over a month, and I decided, you know what, I need to talk to other people about this. I need to figure out, am I the only one going through this? And so I just searched up on Facebook some support groups that had other people that dealt with it. And I will say a lot of these support groups are sometimes filled with people who don't have answers. So it's kind of like we're all kind of just trying to figure this out together. But there's some people out there who can provide tips and advice on what worked for them. And so I will say the medication is probably the biggest thing that helped me throughout all of this. And that's really helped me recover. And being in this recovery phase, I'm really grateful, and I really hope that, telling you guys this information can really help. And definitely talk with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. All opinions are my own, by the way, just a disclaimer. But I will say, speak to a doctor, a professional about this, someone who is trained in this, who has studied this, and tell them about your concerns. If you're struggling with other mental health issues, let them know. That could play a huge role. It really could. And so by addressing my other conditions, kind of simultaneously helped address this thing, the DPDR. And so I'm really happy that I am in recovery, and I really hope that this video helps you all. And be sure to leave down below any comments or questions you may have. I'm an open book, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.